Cory, what did you see from Brandon Hill in his first start, a couple weeks ago?
I think at the end of the day, you're always preparing, no matter if you're 2 or 3 on the depth chart. The way you practice, you're preparing for those game reps because you never know when your opportunity is called. And I think Brandon's always taken advantage of that. Like, I literally have to get on him. It sounds crazy, but for practicing like too hard, like he just goes and he wants to hit everybody and everything. So, I think he prepared himself well for that opportunity. And when he came in, he had to get the jitters out a little bit. There was one missed tackle early on. But after those first 2 series, I felt like he really got settled into the football game. He communicated really well into the boundary. He took control there, and I thought he did a good job. I thought he played hard. I thought he was good and sharp mentally, and played through the whistle. So I was proud, and I was happy. I was happy to watch him go out there and be able to have that opportunity to make the most of it. So I was really happy for him.
You mentioned about preparing, and Brandon was prepared to step in for Paris. I mean, what about the guys behind Brandon, like Judson and Buddy Mack? I mean, how have you seen them step up in recent weeks?
Good. You see growth every day. Like, even like going into that with like Florida State, like you see Brandon from like Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday just get better. Like, he gets those reps. Instead of in the film room, he's watching somebody else get those reps and you coach those guys up. Now he's physically getting those reps, not just mentally. And, he just corrected those reps every single day. So it's the same thing with these guys, with Judson and Buddy. You just see growth from those guys this week and in the course of half of the other week. So you're just seeing continuous growth. Those guys, they're really coachable. It's good because now they feel more of the opportunity. So they're just locked in, rocking and rolling. So it's pretty good to sit back and watch those guys, and they've been doing well.
Cory, what concerns you most about Virginia Tech?
Their offense, good offense. I think that running game is ranked 7th in the country. So obviously they run the ball well, and they have an attitude with running the ball. So, at the end of the day, we got to get down there, fit the run as safeties, and be physical and go attack ball carriers. They like to get the quarterback involved in the run game too. So we got to do a good job with our eyes, keys, and execution. So we got to stop the run. At the end of the day, we got to stop the run, and we got to do a great job of winning our one-on-ones on the perimeter. Okay, we got to do a good job of just when they get that ball out there, we got to do a good job of winning on slot receivers and going to make plays. Then at the same time, we got to do a good job of winning the one-on-ones when the ball's in the air.
Cory, we've heard from a lot of coaches this year about how players have been very receptive, especially the young players have been very receptive to the Zoom meetings and to learning things. You guys have a lot of guys in secondary that you flip between different spots, and you guys kind of teach them to be flexible. Yeah. Can you talk about how some of those young guys have grown up in the system and quickly adapted to learning that kind of football from you guys?
Yeah, I think like when it all started back in March or April when we were doing the Zoom meetings, like we Zoomed as a whole, safeties and corners together. And, at the end of the day, we would communicate with those guys and have the corners make the safety calls and talk to the safeties about the corners dividers and what they do and what are their eye progressions and everything. So I think that really helped us because, as you guys see, guys have moved around throughout the season. So I think that stuff, doing that early on, then even as we got to camp, we were mismatching guys, and you're always looking for the best combinations, right? Like you're always looking for the best 4 of how do you get the best 4 out there on the field. So I think we did that throughout camp and just, mismatching throughout the season here and there, getting guys out there. So I do think coming together through those Zoom meetings and early on in camp, staying together helped each position grow mentally and understanding the other position, not just theirs.
Cory, go ahead, Jerry.
Go ahead, Jeff. No, you go ahead, Jeff.
Cory, what's been the impact that DeMar has had on your young players, and what would you say about the impact he's also had on the program?
Yeah, DeMar, I love the kid. He's a good kid, man. I really do. And, he deserves so much credit for the success and what we've been able to do the last few years of being here. And, just he gets things right back there, like he gets there. Like B Hill comes in last week, and DeMar was just, B Hill practices hard and was prepared, but DeMar just did a good job of helping him ease into the position too, of talking him through things that he's seen. I mean, DeMar has, I think 1,700 game reps since playing here the course of the last 3 years. I mean, the kid's played a lot of football. So he does a good job of having that experience and talking to those younger guys about how he sees things and feels routes. So, it's good to have him back there. When we played Florida State and, he was back there, older guy, we had some younger guys starting against Florida State, right? And it was an opportunity for those younger guys to get in there and play. But it was also an amazing opportunity for DeMar to show what he was capable of with his leadership skills. And he did an amazing job of going out there and leading those guys, and those guys just having fun, excited, playing together, playing fast for a full football game. So that was great to sit back and watch his leadership really shine in these last few weeks.
Cory,
Cory, what have you seen from the guys that maybe are behind DeMar in terms of when he moves on, taking over that spot for him?
I think, they're good. They're sitting back, they're listening, they're observing. I mean, they're good in the meeting room. I mean, Buddy Mac's a good young player. He was on the scout team, for most of the year, right? Until the last 2 weeks. And, he's bounced up there taking reps with us in the last week and a half. And, he's picked up right since camp. So that shows you the retention that he has of understanding our scheme. And that shows you that he didn't just accept of being on scout team. He was still watching our film, still studying what we did down there on our field. So that was impressive by him. Eric Hallett, he bounces around between corner and safety. I think he's an intelligent young man. Obviously, he played corner, did a great job 2 weeks ago against the Tamir and Terry kid. Played the fade ball, played those balls very well. So obviously our field safety does some things of playing the slot receiver. So feel very comfortable with him being able to do that and where he's at mentally. And, Brandon Hill does a good job, and Judson shows up every single day and works hard. And again, he's continued to grow, and you'll see more growth out of him as he continues to get more reps too.
Cory, kind of a two-part question. When Paris was at his best, he was almost like another linebacker coming up and to the line of scrimmage and making plays near the line of scrimmage. Do you see Brandon being that kind of a player, especially against the run? And another thing, you said that you tell him he practices too hard. What does he tell you when you tell him you practice?
He just laughs. Well, you can't, when we go against our first team offense, you can't just run and hit those guys as if it's a Saturday. We got to be smart and whiz and understand when to peel off. And, he wants to dive for every single ball. And I love it, but you got to understand who you're going against too. But no, he's done a better job of understanding practicing and as we go against those guys. But no, Brandon does a good job of playing within the scheme. And you guys know our boundary safety guy gets involved in a lot of run fits. So he does a good job of working through his progressions and sort of fitting where needed within the system. So, and he's a physical kid. He's a thick little boundary safety. And he has no problem coming to hit. I mean, in his 2 games, so he played 32 snaps against Notre Dame. He had another 72 against Florida State. I think he's forced 2 fumbles in the 2 games he's been a part of. So, I mean, he's a physical, aggressive guy and loves to attack ball carriers. He will not shy away from a hit. I'll tell you that.
Cory, I don't know if we'll get another chance to talk to you. So I just on DeMar again, what do you think his opportunities, or how do you think his game will translate to the next level?
Well, obviously, those guys got to sit back and watch and what they need. But I do think, DeMar comes in there. Like if you look at his notebook right now, you look at his notebook from meetings, it looks as if he was a freshman coming into a new system. Like he's taking notes just as like it's his first day here, which is impressive. And he's just looking to learn and grow and understand everybody's position, and understand the overall scheme and how things fit and where everybody's needed. So, I think he's just going to be a team player and whatever teams need. Obviously, I think he has one of the hardest jobs in college football, and I think he's been very successful doing it. So, obviously he's done a good job of guarding those slots. And at the same time, there's been times where we put him to the boundary. Syracuse 2 years ago, I think he had 12, 13 tackles against those guys and, had a pretty solid game of being able to sift through traffic and tackle the ball. So I think he's, multiple in what he's capable of doing.
Have you had any discussions with him about his plans for senior day? It's a weird one where some guys who are seniors might not have to take it because they might use the waivers. Other guys might have it. Have you guys had any conversations just about what he's looking at for this upcoming weekend, with this being the last game this year at Heinz Field?
No, we haven't. I mean, we've just been taking every moment of preparing for Virginia Tech and making sure this senior day ends on the right note. You know what I mean? Like making sure we have a great senior day, and we're doing everything we can as a secondary to help in that success for this Saturday. So we have not discussed anything more than that.
One last thing for me, just Chase Pine talked about how there's a bit of distaste in the locker room from the last meeting with Virginia Tech. How much of that has kind of lurked into meetings, just kind of the motivation for this week? Not that you guys need any motivation, but just as maybe extra weight into this week's matchup.
Yeah, obviously not happy with going down there and the loss we took last year. But at the end of the day, I think we got to look at ourselves and improve ourselves every week, every practice. And I think that was the biggest thing you saw against Florida State. It wasn't about Florida State. It was about us doing a better job of winning our one-on-ones, taking better attack angles, making sure we're not having errors in that. And that was what happened in the success. So we just need to continue on that to be successful this Saturday.
Any final questions for Coach? All good. Cory, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate you guys. Take care now.
Bryce, I think it was a couple weeks ago that Carter Warren had brought up, I guess, you and Jimmy possibly moving on, with senior day coming up here on Saturday. Is that your intention? Is that what kind of you're thinking, or you just kind of focus on the rest of the season and worrying about it at a later time?
Yeah, I'm focused on the rest of the season. I'll make that decision in December 12th, our last game. So that's when I'll get to that. Right now, we're just focused on Virginia Tech.
What have you kind of seen from you guys, your offensive line? I guess in the Florida State game, you guys have had some time to look back on that, with the game being canceled or postponed last weekend. Do you guys go back and look at even more film? And did you guys spend time together on Zoom over that time too?
Yes, we did. We met online and stuff, and we watched a lot of that film. We want to learn from it and capitalize and take all the good things, and bring it into this week against Virginia Tech.
Bryce, how much have you seen their defense change? Are they as exotic or do those same type of things they've done in years past?
Scheme wise and for formations and stuff, I think they're pretty similar. They got some good talent though up front on the D line. They got some different people in there, and but as far as what they do, I mean it's pretty similar. But obviously they have their own ads, and changes each week to week.
Bryce, how frustrating was it on Thursday to kind of get that news that you guys weren't going to Atlanta and had to sit out last weekend?
It was definitely frustrating. We were all excited. We practiced hard all week for it, and then because COVID we couldn't. So, but I mean, at least it's postponed and not canceled, So we're looking at it that way.
Bryce, you guys
very concerned that you guys, because you guys had such a positive trend in terms of results, that there was some false sense of security among the guys a little bit, or do you just attribute the positive test is just like, hey, that's just kind of what 2020 is?
Yeah, I don't think we got too cocky about it. We're still taking all the precautions. Everyone wears their mask, trying to stay clean. But you see, it's a spike all over the country, so we couldn't stop it here in Pittsburgh. So.
Bryce, I know you've taken a lot of precautions all season long, like your teammates have, but have you taken any extra precautions this week since Thursday's problem?
Well, I stay healthy so far, knock on wood. So I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing, football, film, and then just going home and staying out the way.
Do you stay away from other people for the most part, other than your teammates?
Yeah, I stay away from everyone. So strictly teammates. It's the only people I'm around.
Bryce, obviously on senior day, you normally get a chance to walk out with your family and be honored. Is it difficult not to have that? Have you talked to your family about, what you guys will do to kind of mark that day?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna suck not having them, out there, but we gotta do what we gotta do. My parents understand that, so, and hopefully everyone else's do. So everything will be fine. They'll still get to see us play.
Bryce, you guys had your running backs rush for over 100 yards against Florida State combined wise. What were some of the lessons that the offensive line took from that game? And, you guys had basically, a weekend to kind of sit back and look at how you're going to apply it into this new game. but this is your final home game of the season. What are the things that you guys are looking at to say, hey, we can build off this, and we need to clean up, maybe some in another department?
Yeah, that was a big emphasis coming into this game. We finally got the run game going a little bit, and we want to even take it another step up. So eliminate all the bad things and capitalize on the things we did well.
Any final questions?
Bryce, what have you kind of seen from the guys behind you? The second team guys who I know Owen has gotten some playing time. Mac Gonsalves has gotten in, throughout the season. What have you seen from those guys throughout the year that maybe gives you some hope for, the years down the line here?
Those guys, they come to work just like the starters do. I don't feel like there's that much of a drop off. So, and those guys are young, so they're getting better and they come to work. So that's going to speak for itself. They're going to do great.
Has anyone in particular kind of stood out to you in that area and in that second team group?
Probably say you said his name, Matt Gonsalves. He's pretty good. Like he's gonna be a great player, I believe. And that's my guy, so gotta give him a little shout out.
All good. Well, Bryce, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.